Good evening. We're going to call tonight's Jefferson Township Board of Trustees regular meeting in session. It's Tuesday, July 20th, 2021. It is 7:01 p.m. Would you all rise for
the allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time, I'd like to have a moment of silence on the military, firefighters, road workers, sheriff deputies that serve our community here and abroad. Thank you. Roll call, please, Tracy.
Trustee McGuire.
Present.
Trustee Mann.
Present.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Present.
We have quorum present for the meeting. Okay, we have no meeting minutes to approve. Fiscal officers report. Sarah, what you have before?
So there was a report, I gave you the fund summary that was out on the table for the citizens. As everybody, all the other departments are doing, I will provide a full report once a month. We're not getting bills paid as often because they're not coming in, but maybe once a month or once every 2-3 weeks. I mean, the bills are coming in, they're just not coming back to me to be paid once a month, and sometimes once every 2 weeks. So you're probably going to be signing less checks, unless you just don't come up and sign, but I'll put some in every week. But anyway, with that said, I only have what I've given you today as the fund summary and then that appropriation report. But I do have some correspondence that I'd like to bring up. I don't know if the administrator, did you get something from the county on the CAUV property?
Yes, address.
Okay, are you going to discuss it?
If you'd like to, that's fine.
I just was gonna summarize what the letter said and what you wanted to talk to. Okay, well, basically, it's a program for farmers in the local jurisdiction. And they just have some, basically, he wanted to get, I have a report here if you guys wanna see the report. But as a result of the reform that they've done, the values of the property in the CAU program has dropped a total of 54% between 2014 and 2020. Again, I have a report here that they show the numbers. And the CAU program provides an average property value reduction of 75% in our county, which saves the farm owners the average of $129 an acre in property tax. So if you guys, I'm not going to go any further. If you guys want to read this package, I don't want you to take it away, but if anybody wants to read it, I'm going to file this in our file, but I'm going to have it up here. You can read it at the meeting or after the meeting or whatever. So I wanted just to bring that up, that there is a report they sent out on that. So with that being said, and I discussed about the bills, I mean, there's an issue. We need to get these bills on time. We're getting late fees. There are funds assigned for like VPNL, for veterans. There's no issue with those, just those issues with equipment, medical equipment, parts for vehicles, stuff like that. I don't know what line numbers to take those items, to charge those lines, so I have to send them to the department to get those numbers. Those are the bills that are being late, that we're getting a fee. Now, the big issue right now, and it was discussed in the work session, is payroll and some of the issues that involve payroll. That issue may need to be discussed in executive session, but it also needs to be addressed when you finally hire whoever you're going to do that task. So as trustees, you guys need to hurry and do that. We're already going to have April, May, and June. So at the end of this month, June will be late on the reports for benefits, pension plans. So with that being said, that's all I really have related to the fiscal officer report. Does anyone have any questions? I'm sorry. No questions, I'm done now.
I have to make a motion to accept the fiscal officer's report, pay the bills, invoices, appropriations, and warrants.
I'll second the motion. Roll call, please.
Trustee McGuire.
Yes.
Trustee Mann.
Yeah.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Okay, old business. Trustees, any old business?
So we're gonna address the budget adjustments. We talked about in the work session as far as old business, the budgetary adjustments are approved. The resolution has been written, so remember down here,
Has not been ready.
has not been
I
written.
thought it was in our packets.
So good.
I guess I'm confused with which budget adjustments you're talking about.
Yeah, I think you got confused with Roy, I think.
I didn't write it, but it
Oh, that's on my left. This is budget adjustments that are approved by trustees 6/22 that are binding and enforced.
Right. The vote they did was binding.
Oh, the
The resolution for
resolutions
those-
28 through 32.
Yeah,
to justify, you have to satisfy.
they haven't been written.
Is it not-
Those
they have
all
been-
cleanup resolutions that you needed for.
They have not been written yet. That's what he said, they have not been written.
All right, so we still need to get that in writing and signatures, but it's all been passed.
So what we talked about before, who's writing those? We need to do, is,
Oh, okay, so where it ended up with me and Steve is that I asked him to get, the minutes from Buckeye, the Zoom minutes, so that I can make sure that I have accurate notes.
I mean.
And once I
okay.
get those accurate notes, then Steve and I can get together and write those resolutions.
Have you
So
got
that's
the-
what I'm still waiting on.
have you got the minutes from Zoom?
I'm still waiting on the minutes from Zoom.
What's the hold up there?
They sent it to Tracy in both a flash drive on her desk and electronic.
Not the
Set it up on the
last,
server.
not the last meeting, they sent the previous one, but not that last meeting on me. I didn't get them, and I didn't see them on the server yet.
This is the 6/22 meeting.
Right, I don't
Correct,
have, I
correct.
don't have that. There's no flash drives on my desk for that particular one.
No, it was that
It was
previous
previous.
meetings.
And there's nothing out on the server yet. I've checked it every time I've been in here.
I'll call John Miller tomorrow, works for Buckeye, and I will ask him where, get it out there. And I'll have her send a confirmation email to you and CC all three trustees that it's been done.
Okay, so that, once that shows up, then you're willing to write the resolutions? because you have-
No. I'm
Oh,
not gonna write the resolution.
okay, so I'm trying to get the bottom, you gotta kind of decide on who's gonna do
I'm
what.
gonna verify that my notes are correct. I'm gonna
Okay.
give them to Mr. Wolf.
And he's gonna write the resolution. Are you following that, Steve?
Are you trustees saying I'm writing?
All right, we need to decide on who's doing what to get an answer to get this problem solved. That's all I'm trying to do, to try and get the communication.
Again, I didn't propose the resolutions. I'm not writing the resolution.
And those were all numbers that you brought to us.
No, Mr. Wolf brought those numbers to you at the meeting. And do I need to get the recording and play it here in the meeting so you can hear that? That's why I want
So
the
is,
report.
is this the budget thing where the state said you need to move this money to this and this money to that, and take this money out of that? Is that, am I thinking the right resolution?
No, there was,
Okay.
remember we sat, and there was a resolution, I gave you all the numbers, started resolution 28, went to resolution 32, and it was moving this amount of money to this fund. I can't remember exactly one, but one of them was the cemetery. I remember that.
Oh,
in
that,
particular.
okay, now I know what you're talking
One
about.
was a code, or the zoning.
Yeah, one was a zoning administrator. It was from
Tracy,
resolution.
can we write that together so we know it's accurate, so we don't.
Well,
do it
I'll
twice?
give you my notes, and then
We should-
once you, it should be.
Because it involves the
Format.
transfers that you have to do, I'd like us to do it together as a team.
The transfers actually have already been made, it's just the paperwork that has to come out.
So if you transferred it, you got documentation?
I have done, but I want to
Then-
verify the documentation with the minutes, and then if I have to correct them, I correct them.
Right, so
But-
did you just say you had a tape recorder that you could come out and listen to?
No, I don't.
You
That,
told
I
it
took
to
it
us.
during the meeting. I took the notes during the meeting.
Right.
And I wanted to record, the recording from the Zoom meeting in order to verify.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
I took minutes during the meeting. I want to make sure I got it accurate. And then if I made a mistake, I'm going to correct on your way in, and then I'm going to give you my notes.
What?
I get on social
All right,
media, see it.
let's do it this way. Let's draft a resolution to reaffirm the journal entries and put it in the next meeting. And we revote it and sign it in the meeting. And we just put a sentence in there, this is to align with legislation that was done to meet an auditor's deadline. Because this was all audit entries that
Yeah,
the
and
state
there
was asking to have cleaned up.
No,
No.
no, that's not the right one.
That's not the right one.
We had,
Because one of the items was to clean up, to realign 20 budget.
but it wasn't those five. It wasn't any of those
They're
five.
separate.
That was a separate one.
But that's a good plan to do.
I mean, but remember, we have those
Right.
numbers reserved already, 28 to 32 are reserved for each one of those.
So
So
we'll
we're
bring,
gonna just leave those blank now, and then just write another resolution, or take one of those. The minutes, we have to match the minutes. So if we already said, we already signed 28 through 32 on those, we just have to write the paperwork, and the trustee just have to sign it.
and the thing is, Tracy's made the transfer, so she has to have that document in her paperwork. So she
Well,
quickly went ahead and did.
Because we don't have any meeting minutes, basically, that's the real reason. Because the auditors are gonna come in and say, well, you don't have minute meetings, where's the resolutions? Okay, you got that, so we gotta just take this, and we'll just write up that you don't have meeting minutes. At least that way, our UAN system will be okay, because we have the resolution signed by you guys.
To keep in compliance with what we said, we use the same resolution numbers and write a resolution, because they're all different. It's not
They're
moving
just not-
funds, and it's not a repeat and a copy-paste resolution.
Yes, actually it is. You can use one resolution, the same resolution, only thing you're gonna be changing is numbers, line item numbers, and values. It's gonna be basically the same numbers. We're
But they're
changing the
different,
budget.
but they're different thought processes of moving money for different reasons to different funds. I don't see
But
how
we
you
don't have,
copy-paste it.
unless you want that in the resolution as trustees, all you have to say is we're moving money based on the budget. We didn't have enough basically in this fund, so we're moving money to put this money in the funds. And this is the this is the transfer.
2
from
years,
this
2
fund
years
to
down the
this
road,
fund.
I think that verbiage needs to be in there so there's clarity down the road. I mean, the rest of the trustees will do everything word for word anyway, so kind of that follows.
So what
falls in.
clarity do you want in there? Because then if that's the case, I cannot write, because I don't know I don't know the reasoning, other than, yeah, Steve explained it in the meeting. Again, we'll have to have those minutes to hear his explanation, because I did not write those explanations down. He did explain that in the meeting.
Yes.
So he can put that in the meeting minutes, but I did not write that down until I had those minutes.
Step one, I would suggest I go to Buckeye and we get
Yes.
the recording for it.
Step 2, she gives you the numbers and the codes and all that, and then you guys together write a resolution. The 4 or 5.
But, okay, so now I'm hearing that you want it to be more in detail in that resolution. So you don't, because I usually just write blanket resolution when I do those supplements and the transfer. And, I don't put in an explanation. But if you want to change, then that's what we'll do.
Well, no, the reason I want to do it, I guess the whole purpose of that would be, we need to have a record that anyone can follow. So we've had this discussion in the meeting, so somebody listen to the tape, they're gonna be going, what the hell are these guys talking about? So this tightens it up, clarifies what we did, and we got that, because my understanding of those, because they were all done on the fly, because we had to meet a state deadline. So this is just to tighten up the record. That's
Well,
all.
actually, it was done on the fly because we had to pay bills. There's not any deadline on those.
It was to move money for the zoning hire, it
It
was,
was zoning hire.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't like it was a,
It was a different thing we had to do, so we could say to hire a zoning official, we could say to pay a bill for the cemetery. We can do some short stuff like that, if that's what you want.
yeah.
That's no
It
problem, we
needs
can
some
put
kind of
an extra.
definite, it needs some
statement.
kind of clarification.
Okay, then, we can work that, can we, Steve? Okay.
Definitely.
We good?
Good.
Okay.
Any other old business, trustees?
Okay, so we talked about the lighting district assessments, are we good on, is there attachment with the
When I
resolution
send
for
the
the lighting district?
resolution down, for you to sign, the attachment will be with you, please keep it intact, so that when I scan this, I'll be able to send it to them.
Okay.
So this is the lighting district, this is the initial debate.
In the lighting district, do you feel that that is a correct representation of what needs to be paid?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you this, it was changed a little bit from last year because we were charging our own properties and paying our money back to ourselves, so I took out land banks. But other than that, we just changed from 2020 to 2021.
Okay.
I didn't get anything from the county or anything that said we lost the property or a house was burnt down, or whatever the case, so I didn't make any change. So exactly what we had, other than taking out our own property, it's
Okay.
exactly what we had in 2020.
So they have weeded out the ones that were.
I did do that, yes, I did that.
Very helpful. Because it didn't make sense if you build yourself and then the county took 5%.
We were paying the county.
So we're paying the county 5% for our own money. So we were only getting 95% of the money back. So removing them from the beginning, we're not having the county do that. Another savings.
Okay, so that's good on that one. Next one, Jim, we'll talk about the next one.
Old business, it's up in.
Yeah, okay, so approval of the nuisance abatement assessments.
We're not into resolutions, so you want.
I'm under old business
We're
here.
looking at the work session.
I'm looking, we'll talk about an old business. We talked about this before, it is
You
old
got the work
business.
session agenda.
I know.
Yeah, you can
Okay,
pick
so
up on
there's
that.
nothing under the old business, under the agenda for us, there's nothing in old business, so
Okay,
so under old business, I'll talk about the nuisance abatement assessments, and I don't think that attachment's with it either, and I know it's been talked about, gone
Oh,
over,
yeah.
but,
It was there at the last,
yes, it was, yeah, I have it with me now. But,
That's
so
good.
my question, in looking at that, my question is how we arrived at charging the residents, you know, and we all have different situations, so you live on a small quarter-acre lot, and for some reason your grass needs mowed. And they send you a notice, and you don't have a lawnmower, and you can't break it. And I saw this list of, for 2020, this list of the houses and everything, and it's $400 after $400 after $400. I'm just curious how we came up with that, and maybe I voted on that, but my memory's failing me on how we're charging all these landowners $400 to show up for a little bit to mow their yard. It seems like highway robbery to me.
Every year, except when you guys as trustees didn't finish 20 to 21.
That's correct.
So the old resolutions hold strong. You voted for 5 years now, 4 years now, to set that rate each year, so we as staff can bill out the right amount. So the $400 was voted on by you trustees, and it was 3-0. And what you do is you take your equipment cost, your gas cost, your hourly wages, and you put it out there. Most of the communities charge more than $400 an hour. We are trying to be conservative. The idea is the resident go mow their grass themselves.
What are you charging Wolf? So is that compared to like Clay Townships?
No, I know there is no statement there, sir.
so, this is what I
Okay.
suggest. Can I say
But you
something?
voted on it because,
Right, okay.
and so if you trustees decide how much that is each year.
So, Mr. Wolf, like you suggested earlier, that we should probably talk to Tony McKee because he has experience with it. I talked to him and he told me the story, so I think you should go talk to Tony and get that answer from him. And then you guys make the decision if you want to change it.
Okay.
You do have a right to do that since you're the code enforcement, so.
Thank you very much. We need to weigh those over this and over that as a group. We need to weigh the assignments.
You always do it once a year, that way for the whole year, your staff.
But we didn't do any of that. We didn't do any of that this past year. None of that was done.
Right.
Any other old business? Okay, let's move on to new business. Trustees, any new business? There's nothing on the agenda. Anybody?
You say anybody, are you referring to just the trustee?
Yeah, so as a trustee, I spent quite a bit of time driving the roads in the township, and I'm just kind of sad at the condition of the roads. I know we've had complaints in previous meetings about potholes. I have a picture on my phone of one on Liberty Ellerton. It's probably 12 inches diameter. There's a culvert pipe going through there, and that is an accident waiting to happen. It's just above north of Tom's Maze. It's in the S-curve there, and we need to stop just cutting grass. And I mean, myself, when I was over the roads, we replaced culvert pipes. That culvert pipe's going to have to be replaced. It's going to end up like Calumet. It's in the S-curve there, Jim. Did you get that? Okay.
No, it's Germantown Liberty.
Germantown.
Liberty Ellerton is,
Yeah, it's on Germantown Liberty, I'm sorry. Yes, so thank you. So anyway, there's that. I've been on Hempel. There's bad ones. There's one, Hempel and Diamond Mill, but I did talk to the county. They're going to get that one. There's a culvert pipe on the south side there that's in a little bad shape. We had discussion in the last meeting about a house on Derby that had high grass and bad backyard and everything. And I was just curious if the road department had looked at that at all. You know?
The road department doesn't look at anything. It's assigned by the code enforcement officer, and that process has been that way forever. The code enforcement officer takes the complaint,
So
files the
you
paperwork.
as
and
road
says I'm
superintendent,
allowed.
you as road superintendent is not driving the roads and looking at things that needs to be
No,
done.
I am. I've asked you trustees what roads to fix, and you've given no
No, that's
answer
road,
here.
okay, we back up a minute. Yards and properties and gutters falling out of houses and stuff like that, you don't look at that, is it?
It's not my number one responsibility under the Ohio Revised Code, but I go out to help Justin, because he's doing two jobs right now. And I can't help it.
So,
But if you don't give the complaints to us when you get them right away, we can't get to them.
well, this one was in the last meeting.
Well, that's fine, but the point is that paperwork is already started on that house, but we can't just go mow it. We have to wait on the legal process to go through. We've explained that to you three trustees for a long time.
Okay.
So you can pick up the phone and you can call Justin anytime and ask him the status of those things. You're over code enforcement, you should be actively involved in it.
I am.
Well, Justin said they hadn't got a phone call yet.
Okay. So, and just out of curiosity, when was the last time you used it at the road garage at starting time and wanting to, have a toolbox talk, tell the guys what to do, safety talk, anything like that? I'm just curious.
Okay, got it, so.
Okay.
But number two, there's no job description of that.
We had a job description of road superintendent before, that didn't carry through.
You have to do trustees and not us.
That's right, because we didn't do that first of the year.
That's right, you chose not to do any of those.
All right. So we don't have a job description for the administrator then either.
Correct.
let's move off, we'll move on.
Next.
Any other new business? Okay, that takes us to resolutions. Okay, I went back through the last meeting, it looks like resolution 21039 is where we started. Okay. Okay, first up, resolution number 21-039. The Jefferson Township Board of Trustees do hereby approve this resolution certifying the 2021 street lighting assessments for the lighting district and to be submitted to Montgomery County Auditor's Office. This resolution has an attachment that we've discussed. I move to adopt resolution number 21-039.
Second.
Any discussion, trustees?
Not me.
Roll call.
Trustee McLaughlin,
Yes.
trustee McGuire,
Yes.
trustee Mann,
Yeah.
Resolution passes.
how many minutes? I got a paper clip on here, please don't take a look, I put it on the page that you guys need, so that we don't lose these pages.
Thank you.
Resolution 21-040. Jefferson Township Board of Trustees do hereby approve this resolution certifying the assessment charges for abating nuisance properties to be assessed to listed properties for 2020 for a township charge of $98,139.13 and $9,813.91 county fee for the total assessment of $107,953.04, and request that this 2020 assessment be submitted by the fiscal officer to the Montgomery County Auditor in a timely manner. I move to adopt resolution 21-040 and its attachment.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Discussion?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, and maybe you don't know, but in the history of this, of the 98,000 for the township, or total of 107, how much of that do we collect? 50%, 10%, 40%, 80%, 75%? How much of that is actually collected? How much of that is abandoned properties? And
It stays on the property forever until it's paid.
I understand that. That's what I'm
So I
asking.
can't say that, as a fiscal officer, they have to tell you.
It's not broken out when we get the property tax like that.
Okay.
It's, I can give you what they tell us, but it's not broken out like that. I don't know,
So
we would have to request a report from the county.
When we get a payment from the county, this money's not separated on a different line item?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It's just broken out in different, what is broken out is in different, general, fire, road, the levies. The fire has 3 levies,
Yeah.
3 levies, the police has 2, road 1, general,
So the trash assessment, this assessment
and
not
that's
separated?
the trash is.
The trash is,
The
this,
trash and
well, then this ought to be by itself
the
then.
weeds, and it says weeds in this. So it is an amount that's separated, you do get an amount, so it's
Okay.
not separated all.
Okay, now I follow you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, I
Yeah.
got you.
And that's only twice, that's only, we only did it twice, they only did it twice, it's called special assessment. So we do that, so I can give you that information if you need it.
Just like last,
In the
one
past
year,
year.
1990, this is 2020, how about 2019? Give me that information, thank you.
You know, everything's built in arrears, so what we
Yeah,
did
right,
this year
right,
was
right.
from last year.
Right, right. So I'm going to rears another.
Okay.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Trustee McGuire,
Yes.
trustee Mann,
Yeah.
trustee McLaughlin,
Yes.
Okay. Resolution 21-040 passes 3-0.
keep the paperclip on.
Okay, resolution number 21-0401. Jefferson Township Board of Trustees do hereby renew the Jefferson Township Property Casualty Insurance Policy for the 2021/2022 year with the Ohio Township Association Risk Management Authority in the amount of $69,477. I move to adopt resolution 21-041.
I'll second the motion.
Mr. Mann, any more discussion on this? We talked about this in the work session.
And didn't we have some questions on the funds, the codes being corrected, with the amount of money being there and the fire for this $900 short?
The comment was to do a verbal resolution that we go ahead and pay the bill, and then we, using, one of the funds that we have, and then we get it adjusted when we meet with the fire chief and Steve and I, when we meet together,
Okay.
we'll get all that adjusted. So you just kind of vote to say if this is what you want to do, but the fiscal officer will pay the bill using the funds available. And then it has to be adjusted, then we'll do that, in a later, we'll submit a resolution the next meeting showing the adjustment.
Okay, so we talked about that. We also discussed, and that's what I put on public record, we also discussed, we haven't had a current inventory list made recently. Is that not correct, Mr. Wolf?
No, it's been made every year. The auditors have them.
Okay. So then that's good. But in looking at the list of, damage breakdown and property, I'm looking at this needs to be gone over and verified. And number one, do we have it? Does it need insured? Do we have something that's not insured? And then also the breakdown, as Tracy spoke in the work session, it's broke down, make sure what goes to fire, what goes to road, what goes to general. So we're going to look at that also, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is there a way that the insurance company can put them in that way on their list so it's easier, Because I remember when we used to pay the insurance, they gave us an automatic breakdown sheet, a summary sheet, and they stopped doing that.
Because of legal liability problems where they blamed certain things on the insurance companies, so they backed away from it.
Yeah.
But that's why we got what we got, which was a breakdown, but it's not.
I understand, they don't want to be in that.
Yeah, I understand, so if they use the list we provide them,